Is Chris Humphries going?
Chris Humphries is playing. Yes.
Starting?
He will not start. No, we'll stick with the group that started the last couple games.
Everybody else? Anybody else?
I think so. I have to do the math in my head. Yeah, I think everybody else is good to go.
Did Humphries' MRI show anything, or is it just the tendonitis?
It's the tendonitis, and that was good. You know, we were a little bit concerned that there may be more to it because he's played through that for quite a while, but no, it looks structurally really good, and I think he feels good about it. And you can tell, even though we went pretty light as far as a shoot around this morning, he had a little bit of an extra bounce in his step.
Will he sit tomorrow night? Not playing tonight.
Who?
Humphries.
Not that I know of.
How about Rondo?
Right now, from everything I've been told, nothing's changed. But you know, that again, like I've said numerous occasions, that's the day after how he feels is really up to him. And so he and our trainer get together and they ultimately decide that. So I just wait for the go ahead. But since it hasn't been the case all season, I haven't thought twice that it may happen tomorrow.
Is there minutes restriction at all for him?
No.
Coach, you guys haven't seen this Bobcats team since November. How difficult is it to prepare for a team that you haven't seen in almost 5 months?
Well, they're different because their bench is much different. They're much better off the bench. You know, they've had Ridenour coming off. I guess Walker may not be playing, but they've had Ridenour coming off, who gives you scoring. Gary Neal's a great scorer, as we all know, and a guy that can change the game like Corver did the other night, which killed us. And then Chris Douglas Roberts has been playing great. Add on top of that, I think Cody Zeller's really come into his own, and you know, when Josh McRoberts was out last week, I thought Cody looked terrific in the games that he started. So they're really getting a lot out of a lot of different guys. They've been, you know, exceptionally well coached all throughout the season. They're long, they're strong, they're tough. It's a physical basketball team. You know, it's kind of in the mold of what you would say a Bulls team would look like, as far as length all over the place and very, very aggressive defensively.
Any chance you had to experiment with any lineups or anything in these last few games?
No, you know what, Baxter? No. I mean, I'd like to feel good about ourselves heading into the off season. I've said that numerous times, and you know, to me, you always play based on who deserves to play, and you know, who can best give you a chance to be successful, and so there won't be any outside experimentation. I mean, I think we've got a pretty good idea. I think you all do. You've been here 78 games too, so of who can do what.
Greg, what kind of group is this Charlotte team in at the defensive end of the floor?
Yeah, I think they're, like I said, I think they look a lot to me like a Bulls or a Pacers that with their physicality and length. They don't take any play for granted. They don't take any detail for granted. I just, you know, clipped up about 3 or 4 clips of their guards executing a pick and roll defense perfectly because I want it for the postseason. You know, and I think that speaks to how good and technically sound they are.
Brad, last game, Cleveland and New York were hoping you beat and tonight, Washington's hoping you beat Charlotte. And on Wednesday, Charlotte's going to hope you beat Washington. What is that like? And this is your first experience with how this goes into college conference games or 2-3 weeks the same opponent. But now how this whole thing is going.
Well, this is nobody wants to win that more than I do. But I also think this is maybe that's a little bit like bubble week when you get beat in your conference tournament and you don't know if you're in or out, and you're rooting for every favorite the whole week to win, and you can't sleep because you're watching the UCSB game on 1 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday night. You know, I think that's the way that week goes. There is. I've been there when we lost, watched the bubble, had it all mapped out and didn't get in. Lost, watched the bubble, had it all mapped out and got in by a team probably. That's brutal, but you have a whole season to earn these opportunities, and I think that's what That's what sticks with us, which is disappointing because we've had a whole season worth of opportunities that we didn't do enough about to earn our opportunity to be in that discussion.
Along that same line, it's like these playoff
College player up in Boston College.
Yeah, I mean, it's our season. It's 4 games left. I think my biggest thing right now is obviously, we want to create positive momentum. I want to see positive momentum, and at the same time, most important thing is that we need to play well to do that. And so, you can focus on all the things that you ultimately want, but you also have to focus on how to get there every single minute of the game. And we've seen in the last, certainly in a couple of the last games where we haven't quite done everything. And it really started the other night, like I said. It started with some defensive lapses, and I'd like to see us play through those. I'd like to see us not have those because the team we're playing against tonight doesn't have them very often.
Some of these end of the games, the shoot arounds, do you guys work on some of these
Sure.
last 3-4 minutes? What's
sure.
this mental toughness?
No, I think first of all, there's a lot of factors involved. Number one is you work on your execution every day. You work on your defensive schemes every day. A lot of times, the one thing that you have to have is you have to maximize all of the little plays, all of the intangible plays. You have to come up with every loose ball. You have to come up with every 50-50 rebound. You have to make sure we get, the other day, transition defense really hurt us. But you work on all that stuff, and then at the same time, we haven't even talked about who gets the ball where and when. And I think that there's a lot of factors that go into that, and I don't think it's as easy as pointing at one thing, and I certainly think we all share responsibility in that. I'm the first to tell you that I need to do a better job in every which way.
How do you think you guys will practice again this season?
I haven't even look. We got potentially Tuesday. Right now, we have Tuesday on the calendar to practice, and it'll depend on what time we get back from Philly. We've got 3 games in the next 4 days, so also depend on kind of how our legs look at that time. But we'll have our typical shoot-arounds, which we've had, and we had again today. So we're doing everything the same all the way through the final buzzer next Wednesday night.
Anybody ever tell you that you might not practice as much as you'd like, or the schedule is a certain way?
Yeah, I mean, I think I knew we wouldn't be able to practice very long. Probably more so. I'm probably still a little bit surprised at how much you really do have to take off, especially when you consider the back-to-backs. I mean, if you play 3 games in 4 nights, you really don't have a practice until you get back done with that stretch. And so, the shoot-arounds are huge, the walkthroughs are huge, the film is huge, and to be candid, I think that's one of the areas, and I probably should have mentioned that, Scott, we've done a pretty good job guarding actions all year. Like, I feel good about the way that we've guarded the actions of it. We haven't made other plays, and specifically I'm focused on the defensive end that you just have to make to win.
Even though the college season is shorter, you practice more in college.
Yeah, you do significantly, because you usually have 3 games, or you have 2 games in a week. So, a lot of times you go to, an off day, 2 on game, 2 on game, off day. That's kind of the way the Wednesday, Saturday schedule works. So you always had extra practice time. And to be candid, though, you get to have a lot more access during the off season now than you used to too, with all the hours that you get to work out guys. And you can do those things voluntarily here, but a lot of times guys decide to go their own direction, and specifically the veteran guys, which I understand. It's a long season.
You've talked about some of the defensive breakdowns. Is that just communication, effort? Is there anything you can...
I think that you could probably go through a whole list of things, and most of the time, I would say that it has probably been, there's been some communication issues. There's no question about that. But I'd say most of the time it's been just in a small window. It's been a minute window or a 30-second window, or or a possession where they get 2 offensive rebounds and get a second chance point or second chance points, and those have been timely and hurtful.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.